Hi guys, it's John here from CS. So what I have in front of me is the First Strike XP. I've also got the generation prior to this new one. Some of the parts from that here just to do a bit of a comparison test. And the reason why I'm doing like that, I've not tore it down in front of you because basically it is exactly the same apart from how the CO2 tube enters into the regulator, etc. So I'll go through that with you in a minute. Alright guys, so like I say, locking bolt here, locking bolt at the sides, locking bolt in the Picatinny rails, and off you go, nice and easy. At that point, it's going to expose the body with a regulator on it. What you're going to want to do, guys, is initially get a big flat head, take out the piercer, which is locked in with this grub screw type here. And once you've taken out the piercer, guys, it's going to expose this locking bolt, Allen key. In you go, turn it out, remove the CO2 tube, and it will then give you what is essentially the exact same regulator that was in the prior generation. It's just missing obviously the nipple because it's plumbed slightly different, but I do believe the threads are there. I do believe you can put a nipple into this and swap it over into your FSCs if you need to. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but you can do if you want because it is exactly the same from what I can see. I don't think there's any size differences, so it looks like our steel latches will work, sear springs will work. So in terms of upgrading the marker, it's basically the same as one prior to that, just a few differences. Alright guys, in terms of the internals, yeah? If we look at the actual top slide, so to speak, it's exactly the same except for the fact it's 20 mil from what we measured longer. Okay, and you can also see that in the barrels, guys. So here's the model, previous model of FSC, and here's the XP, and you can see the length difference. And like I say, I measured that to 20 mil. Also, the way that this is milled out, it's milled flatter there. I can only presume that's to improve the way the ammo moves through the marker, reducing jams, etc. But I can always ask and get the answer to that. That's all I can see why that's been done. I could be wrong. Alright guys, and that's basically it from what I can see. The bolt slide, the air chamber, the cap at the back, it's all the same. It's slightly different design on the front, obviously milled slots. Here you've got your plate where you can just put your pop-up sights. Fiber optics look really nice, by the way, and it is a quality product. I'm really happy with it, and we can't wait to get this in stock. So like I say guys, our upgraded bolt spring, CS bolt spring, works perfectly. These springs are designed for high pressure, alright guys, and that's why we have two stages of CS spring. We have the stage 1, stage 2. The stage 2 is extremely stiff. Some people find it difficult to get in, but once it's in, you can really test the potential of the marker. And that's about it, guys. If I was going to say anything negative at all, which I don't necessarily want to, don't feel the need to, but to kind of balance things out, because I do love these markers, definitely. I'd say it's difficult once the CO2 pops out the degasser, and when you're ready to degas, it can be a bit difficult to push in there. I don't even think it's worth really having like a push button. I suppose we can have a push button, but it's how it's going to look. Could design something for there, something nice and simple. I just think you need a bit more surface space in order to push it in. But for me, that's the negatives I'll pull from this. If I want to go a bit further, the cast aluminium parts, they're no good for those really who want to test it at higher pressures. But for us in the UK, that's not really an issue because these are paintball markers, and that's what they're designed for generally, and that's what us in the UK will use them for. Obviously, other countries can get stuck into it and do certain things, and we will put our hand into that market and send parts off to those countries. We won't be doing anything like that in the UK generally. for obvious reasons, guys. Alright, so there we go. Loads of stuff to come, by the way. I was waiting on some materials to come for the new barrels. You guys can absolutely love those. As you can hear the prints in the background working away, and we're going to get back in the workshop and crack on and stock you guys up with some interesting bits. Alright, but for the FSC XP, love it, can't wait to get it back in stock. I believe you guys are going to love it as well. I think the introduction of the 12 gram slightly longer barrel, and by the way, in the hand it doesn't feel bulky. I've had it in my trousers, etc. It doesn't feel cumbersome around you. It's a nice feel, so it's a good premium marker, and we're happy with that. Alright, so stay blessed, guys, stay safe. It's a crazy world, but try and keep smiling and do the best you can, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.